about the late Luciano Pavarotti. Thank you for your time. Your relationship with Pavarotti goes right back to the beginning of his international career, I believe. Do you remember the first time you saw him?
Oh yes, I do. He was doing an audition at Covent Garden in 1963, and I heard him then, and I was bowled over by the sound he made. I mean, it was a wonderful, natural, beautiful sound.
Was it a big voice right from the start?
No, it's very interesting. If you listen to it on recordings, it sounds like a very big voice. It wasn't a big voice. It recorded very big. But in the theatre, it was a normal-sized tenor voice, but not big in the way that some of the Corellis and people like that, not anyway, so to speak.
And were all the top notes and all of that, was that all in place by the time you first met him?
Yes. It was a natural voice. You know, I was in Modena one year and we had a dinner and his father got up and sang. And the old man sounded exactly like Pavarotti. I mean, it was just something, he had it by nature.
I mean, we all know the kind of ebullient, larger-than-life Pavarotti, the showman that he became. Was he like that from the start?
He was lovely at the beginning. He listened to what he was told. He worked hard. Excuse me. He worked very hard, and he was great. It was lovely working with him.
Now, was he a confident performer?
Up to a point, if it was in the Italian repertoire that he knew, he was fairly confident. He couldn't read music, but he didn't think about singing in any sort of physiological way, I'm happy to say. He sang on instinct, and it was a great instinct, which lasted him for a long time.
I mean, he does credit Dame Joan with breathing technique.
He was always very generous about that.
And did you work with him on technique?
Oh, we worked all the time. I wouldn't say on technique, on interpretation for sure. Because in Australia at that time he sang Traviata, Sonnambula, Lucia, and L'Elise d'Amore, the four, 3 times a week. Not all 4. And he was very popular, and they loved him. We were lucky to get him at that time, right early in the career. But he was a natural, a real natural. He was good on the stage. I won't say he was slim, but he was an athletic-looking man in those days. Mm-hmm. He certainly was not as stout as he became.
I mean, it was the 1966 Daughter of the Regiment that earned him the King of the High Seas.
I mean, the High Seas were phenomenal. They were right placed in the voice, and everybody was knocked out by them.
And you conducted that performance.
Yeah.
And did you know he had that?
He had the top of the voice from when I first knew him. It wasn't something that was manufactured. It was there by nature. He was very blessed by God with something here.
Yeah.
He loved singing, and it was a natural function for him, but he was not intellectual about it at all. And the fact that he did not learn to read music, I think, was a great shame, because he could have done much more with the repertoire, because he was capable of singing huge amounts of repertoire. And I mean, as with Callas, for example, who revived all these wonderful big Verdi operas at the La Scala. He could have done all that too, but he didn't choose that way.
And I mean, it's a unique voice. It's one of those voices that you hear it, you can immediately say
it's a great natural sound. That's why he had a great career, because he didn't have to manufacture anything. It was all real, quite real.
And can you think of anyone who's today who has that?
No, as long as he was in his own language, he was pretty happy. But
fantastic.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
My pleasure.